For 36 years, I was a full-time pastor and a part-time woodworker. Now I'm a full-time woodworker and a part-time pastor. But every day in the shop, I see things that remind me of God. And so we'll look at some of those things here on the Cross and Chisel. Come on into the shop. Ready to work. This is my helper today, and we're going to move some wood, aren't we?
Are we gonna pick up some tractor and put some wood in?
We might move the wood with the tractor, but right now we're going to move this wood just by hand. Can you help me?
I'll just get little ones.
Okay. When you're working with a child, most of the time they want to do it themselves.
This is a big one.
They think they're going to make a lot of difference.
I got a big one.
You did great. You know, when we talk about the little child, and the privilege it is to be a follower of Christ, we forget about the fact that whenever we get to be about 2 years old, we should get a t-shirt that says, "I'm 2 years old," and whatever the question is, the answer is no. And I think the 2-year-old lives in every single one of us, because you get to the point where you want to do things that you're not able to do, and you can't do them, but you won't let anybody help you. Now, it's a lot easier whenever you're moving lumber to do it by yourself, not with the help of a child. It's a lot easier to bake a loaf of bread without having a child helping you. But the child gets joy and pleasure out of the privilege of working. Number 4. And that's what we need to think of. In the Gospel of Mark, we have a story about the disciples and a little children.
That's that.
It says people were bringing little children to Jesus for him to place his hands on them, but the disciples rebuked them. Then take your finger and make a little hole in the middle. When Jesus saw this, he was indignant. And then, that's good, we'll put the yeast in there. He said to them, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. Truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." And he took the children in his arms, placed his hands on them, and blessed them. I think that's really a beautiful picture of who Jesus was, because the children were the most insignificant, the most helpless people in society. And for the disciples, they didn't matter, but they mattered to Jesus. And they pick this up and we put it in the machine. And we just have to wait for 3.5 hours and it'll be ready. All right, are you ready to cut?
Yeah.
And now we get to see what the bread tastes like. Would you like to do that? Oh. So the next time you have a child that wants to help you paint, remember, that's just a reflection of how we are in front of God. Because God has accomplished what needs to be accomplished. And we have the opportunity and the privilege to participate. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to participate in God's plan. Right, good bread.